is up? What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is K right here. I'm back with another great video for you guys today. Let's get right into it. We have to talk about my boy Tito Mercado. For those of you that don't know Tito, he is a rising lightweight fighter. He's now currently 8-0. He just recently beat Jason Velez, heavy loaded Puerto Rican veteran. Tito is now 8-0 with 8 wins by way of knockout. He just had a great victory against Jason Velez. He knocked him out in 6. He now has the North American Boxing Association, aka called the NBA title, or the NABA. I basically call it the NBA title, but that's really what it's called, the NBA title for the particular Fight League Association. But yeah, that was a very, very good fight. Tito did what he had to do, and now puts him in position to become a much more bigger threat at the lightweight division. For those of you that don't know who Mr. Ernesto Tito Mercado is, he is a rising lightweight fighter. He is 5'10", and I'm not too sure about the arm reach. I'd say around the 70s, but the man's an absolute beast. He's only been fighting for roughly 1 year. He debuted back in 2021 as of July, and he's been on fire. He's been stopping guys with decent records. Not the greatest records, but obviously with his most recent victories, these guys had winning, plus minus, positive records, like Alfredo Rodolfo Blanco, 22-10 and 0. Not the greatest fighter, but that was a man that hasn't been stopped too many times. He obviously was stopped once by undefeated Omar Aguilar. For those of you that don't know him, he was that Mexican dude that got absolutely, exposed by Lindolfo Delgado, and that was a very good ass fight. And Omar, he doesn't have the greatest defense out there. I think he's very limited on defense, but he's all offense. That's a great thing that he's good for. But that's a good notable win for Ernesto. Even though that in theory, him and Omar would have been the better fight if you're talking about all young guys being put together against each other versus the young lion has to kill off with the old lion, because that's how young lions get brought up into any sport. But I think the issue is just that I don't know. I think when we talk about matchups in boxing, the issue being with matchups in any sport is that in boxing and MMA, the matchmaking is so terrible where you can't call any matchmaking to be good, because there's no such thing as fair matchmaking in boxing or MMA. You could easily have some female fighter that's a world champion that fights a woman coming off of her debut, or I don't know, you be seeing it all the time in boxing where you got this one female fighter, she's the greatest fighter out there, right? But she be fighting women that come off of like horrible losses, or they fight a woman that only has 3 to 5 fights, and it's just weird, man. It's just weird how some of these fighters be moving, but that's how it is in boxing. It's a very sad game, but also when you are not afraid to lose and you're not afraid to put on a good show, that's what makes you a very destructive fighter. See, now with Tito's vision of what he wants to do, he wants to move pretty fast, but he's moving very progressively well. Plenty of great lightweights here. We got Manuel Jaimes, we got Alexander Devyatov, or Devyatov. He's a beast. I've heard some good things about him. He's a pressure fighter and he's a knockout puncher, but he's out of Russia. He's definitely he might be a big threat for the division. Francis Villar from Meta, he's an absolute monster. I haven't seen too many clips out of him, but I've heard some great things about him. He's definitely on his way to, getting closer to like a world title. He has the WBA Fed Latin title, so that's definitely gonna help him get higher through the rankings. And I think that's what's probably gonna end up happening. Um, I think where Tito is at in the lightweight division, um, there are so many guys that are going to end up fighting each other, and it's just going to be like a Royal Rumble of just absolute destructive matchups. Like I want to see him and Nahir Albright, Raymond Murataya, who's definitely on the rise. He's a Robert Garcia fighter. Guys like uh, who else? Rolando Romero maybe. Edwin De Los Santos. Um, Maybe Miguel Burchell. I'm not too sure. I think Burchell. He's probably gonna hang it up. I think his career is not gonna go the way people would expect it to be. But I think based off of what we're seeing right now, Burchell he's probably just gonna be quiet because I don't want to see him back in the ring anymore. I think his time is up, and I think he has too much wars put into his tank, and I'd like to see him definitely back in the ring with like a more compressed mindset. Yeah, he doesn't put himself in any position to like be I don't know. I think it's best to just see him rest up, and then maybe he can make a decision if he wants to return. But we also got Hector Tanajara. He's coming back to the ring. He's gonna be facing a guy named Antonio Mieja. That's November 18th. I don't know where that's gonna be. I'm not too sure if that's a DAZN card or whatever. Oh wait, actually, you know what? That might be on the Regis Prograde card. Let me take a look at that. But he's a good fighter. Tanajar only been stopped once by the man that's going to be fighting Jojo Diaz. That will be Mr. William Zepeda that had defeated him. But decent matchup. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Oh, and surprisingly, that's not on the Regis Pro Grade card. That's on a completely different card. I don't know if that's a DAZN card, but I'm pretty sure it is. But also, for those of you that want to know more about the Jose Zepeda and Regis Prograde fight, that will be under Marv Nation Promotions. Man, this fight is on pay-per-view, sadly. So, I don't know how they're going to sell this to the public because none of these guys have ever done pay-per-view. Not to my understanding, but like maybe Regis, maybe he did pay-per-view when he was in the UK, but fighting Josh Taylor. But this is definitely not a pay-per-view fight. I think this fight should just be on free TV, especially on YouTube, because Marvin Nation Promotions, they're not really a big promotional platform, and I just don't understand why that has to be. I don't know, but either way, congratulations for that fight being made. I'm happy that that fight is now definitely going to be a absolute banger, and I think Prograde gonna stop him. I think Prograde gonna absolutely desecrate him, and it's not gonna be a very good fight for Zepeda. I think he's too limited. I think Zepeda he goes back into his same mode of getting hit but not looking to not be hit. I think that's Zepeda's biggest fundamental flaw that he doesn't tend to fix in the gym. And every time when he's back in the ring, he's always coming out to try knocking you out. He doesn't come out to box. He comes out to brawl. And I think Regis he will definitely be favored in that style because Zepeda he cannot take those shots for that much longer with a guy like Regis. And we all know, Zepeda is very flat footed, so I don't think Zepeda is going to have the amount of drive coming into that fight. So I think it's all going to show come fight night. But that's my prediction for that fight. The undercard was not bad for this fight. There were some decent fights on this fight. There was Steffi Cohen. She's a decent fighter. She recently lost a decision to Devani Cuevas Torres, but then I'm not too sure about the Keidra Bradley fight. She might have won that fight. I'm not too sure, but I definitely like Steffi. She's a okay fighter. And then you had Agnesa Kirako Sion. She's okay. She definitely is decent, but she had a good performance. So congratulations to her. And yeah, the rest of the card I'm not too sure. Oh my God, yo, Ty Edmonds, he was on this card. Jesus. Oh man, I gotta Ooh, man, I gotta cook this boy. This man wasted all of our damn time. And this man, like, what, 28 years old? It says on Tapeology he's like, what, 30? I don't know how that came to fruition so quickly, but with his age, yeah, Tapeology got to fix up some of these fighters' ages because they are not, at the right age as far as what they have them listed. But yeah, they actually fixed it. I guess he's 30 instead of 28. Yeah, Lorenzo was about to whip on a 30-year-old man, or 29, about to be 30. Well, no, he's about to be 31 in January. So, man, that's not good, buddy. But I don't know who won this fight. Oh wait, actually no, I could look up on the box track maybe. I'm not too sure if they actually updated it, but I'll take a look at that right now for you guys. 14-5. Oh my God. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, I got a bad message for all you Ty Edmond fans, but hey, Lorenzo Simpson, if you're watching this video, please share it around. Your recent opponent, Ty Edmonds, that pulled out of his fight to fight Lorenzo Truck Simpson, got knocked the fuck out. Got knocked out in 3 rounds by a 9-0, basically 10-0, deadly southpaw. Oh my God. Do I have to keep saying it once again? Oh my God, southpaws run boxing. I will say this again, southpaws run boxing. Yo, he got whipped by Raul Lizarraga, and he is 10-0, now 10-0, 6 foot height southpaw fighter. He's 6 feet tall. He is out of California, out of the San Diego area, but he resides out of Murrieta. But yeah, he got knocked out. So congratulations, you beat a not so great but decent 14-5 fighter. So yeah, I figured I share you guys up the news on Mr. Ty Edmonds. He got knocked smooth the hell out, and that's why you should always take whatever fight is given to you, because karma will bite you if you are going to duck the smoke. So yeah, that's the story of Ty Edmonds. He got brutally knocked out regardless of which route he wanted to take. But yeah, man, that is not a good career, and I don't know what you're gonna do for the rest of your career. So all right, so now he's out of the picture, but let's talk about Tito, man. Tito got a lot of great skills. I think where he's at right now, in terms of which route to go, I just say keep on fighting. Keep fighting guys with winning records, but I think if you want to go forward, not backwards, these are my top 5 opponents for Tito Mercado. The very first opponent is Rene Tellez Giron. Here's why. Rene Giron is a very tough, come-forward Mexican fighter. Tito likes to come forward, but he also boxes with his pressure. I believe Tito will brutally knock out Rene Giron. But another good matchup, which I will get to next, will be a guy like Giovanni Cabrera, which I'll get to him soon, but let me talk about Rene. If he can beat Rene the way I picture it inside my mind, that's a very, very good victory to have. Not only because he's only lost to two very very good fighters, and Michel Rivera, that was back in 2019 of that following June of that year, and then now he only lost to Giovanni Cabrera. So that only shows like he's not a bad fighter. Like he's a very dangerous fighter, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Rene Gueron does because he's a very good fighter. He was about to fight Luis Melendez, but we all knew what the story was with that. He came in overweight, but imagine if him and Luis Melendez mix it up. I think that style matchup would definitely scale a lot better too because having a win over Rene Gueron not only means that you beat a top 100 lightweight, but on top of that, you're also facing a guy that has been in there with some decent quality opposition, and his best notable fight was Michel Rivera. So if Michel Rivera does end up becoming a champion, this is like a notable win. This is a notable win that Michel Rivera has. So that just comes to show, like, Rene Gueron, he does not run away from the competition. I don't think he's going to end up like a Porky Medina type fighter, but he's definitely going to become a game bred fighter. And if he continues to get better, um, don't be surprised if this man comes around and gets himself like a world title because he has 18 fights so far, and he doesn't need that many more fights left to get into the world title conversation. He's a top 100 lightweight according to BoxRec, so I think this is the best fight to make for Ernesto Mercado. I think this is going to definitely increase his stock a lot higher. Here's the next opponent, Giovanni Cabrera. This is a very, very, very good opponent. Here's why. Giovanni Cabrera, he likes to come forward, but he also likes to box. He has a great, great destructive jab. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for Tito. But once Tito gets beyond that, and I think he's going to start breaking him down with that body shot pressure, because Tito got some like Errol Spence, shadow like vibes. He definitely comes in to destroy, and he comes in to break you. He does not give you the fight to be somewhat competitive. He makes sure that you're never competitive in the fight. So if he could do that to Giovanni Cabrera, that's going to be a very very good win. Not only because that you definitely went toe to toe with a guy that's not afraid to throw back, but on top of that, if you break him down, in a fashion that nobody else can do, then that just shows that Cabrera, he's actually a good notable win to have on your resume. Here's another good fight, Starling Castillo, and here's why. Even though he lost to that Russian dude, in which that Russian dude actually ended up he actually won his last fight, but um, Otar Arizonian, that was the guy that dropped Starling twice in round one, but he ended up defeating him, and in a fantastic fashion. But either way, having a win over Starling Castillo is a very good fight. Obviously he had a split decision draw against a undefeated fighter in Kenny De Leon. He's a tough Dominican fighter. Don't know too much about him. I think Starling decided to move up to 140, but I mean, if this fight can be made at 135, if he chooses to go back down, I think he should go ahead and get that opportunity in. But if not, then I would just basically throw the fight away because I don't think Starling Castillo, if he's not able to maintain 135, then don't go after that fight. The next best opponent would be Raymond Murataya. We all know who he is. He's a very dangerous, destructive, orthodox fighter. Has great power, has amazing footwork. He knows where to be, how to plant his punches at the right place at the right time, and he's very successful at what he does. I think the only issue that I could ever see out of Tito is just keep keep that right hand up because you know Raymond Murataya, he's like he's gonna try to set up for the he's gonna try setting up for the overhand right or the overhand left, and I think based off of how the styles would go, I think Tito, he's definitely gonna go blow for blow, but I don't think it's gonna go how people may think it's gonna go. It's gonna be a high speed chess match, but I think Murataya, he will have the advantage of gunning his jab early, but if he can make the jab non-existent and he could start making a unorthodox style to beat a guy like Murataya, I think Murataya can easily lose because he's not good at putting his hands at the right position when someone's ready to counter him. And I think that's his biggest issue. I think he does not put himself in good position where he is very vulnerable to get hit, and he doesn't know it because nobody hasn't figured that out yet. Um, but I think that's a very very good fight for the future. Um, Another good fight would be Nahir Albright. Albright is a very good fighter. A lot of people don't give him a lot of credit, but this is like the man that lost to Jermaine Ortiz that will be fighting Lomachenko this Saturday. But imagine if he beat Jermaine Ortiz. I think Lomachenko would still probably not want to fight him. But he's a good fighter, man. Nahir Albright, he has very good, slick defense. He's out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so he obviously has a great school of Philadelphia boxing. But definitely the school that he's trained under. I don't know who his trainer is, but you know, Nahir is a very tough opponent for any fighter, and I think where he's at right now in the lightweight division, he's in a very very good spot. People will definitely call him up, and I think he will be used as a good viable asset for the division. And I think having a win over him, if I'm Tito, definitely will put you in the top 50 or top 45 or top 35. But either way, I think Tito's in a good spot, man. He doesn't need to rush his career. There's so many names that you could think of that are in this lightweight mix, but the lightweight division is just like the welterweight division. It's a glamour division, a lot of great talent, a lot of young talent that we don't know who's good yet. But once we see them in there, it's going to be a whole different level, and I think that's what's going to be scary because I don't think a guy like Javante Davis is going to be around for too much longer. I think his prime will definitely stop around like mid 30s or probably probably maybe even like late 30s. I'm not too sure. I don't think Tank is gonna be around for for forever. So either way, that's pretty much it for my list. I was gonna put in Frank Martin, but I think that's a very difficult fight right now, and I think that would be a better fight made somewhere down the road. Same thing with Edwin De Los Santos. He's an absolute killer, and I think him and Frank Martin are way more likely to fight each other, and that's not going to be an easy fight for either man. But I think Frank Martin, he's definitely gonna get a title very soon, and where he's at right now, he's in a very very good spot, and all I have to say is that shout out to Errol Spence, bro, because Errol Spence is moving him properly, even though he should be more active as we want him to be. But we already know what's that the whole issue. You know, Obviously Errol Spence, if he was able to have it his way to give Frank more fights, that would make a lot better sense for Frank to be on more cards. But I think the reason why Frank is moving the way he's moving now is because he's trying to get closer to the title. So if you want to get closer to the title, you have to take some sacrifices in your career where you got to wait for those big names to like free up, the division. And I think Devin Haney is definitely holding, the division up, because he's trying to like honor all these big fights, but it's like, that's not helping a guy like Frank Martin's career out, nor Tito's career. So I think Devin Haney is going to move up. I don't think he should make another defense at 135. You've already did it with George Kambosos, so Devin, if you're listening, I think now's that time. I don't think this is like the right time frame for you to just keep making defense after defense. I don't think that's a smart move. I think he would scale a lot better if he, just moved up to 140 and just fight whoever is put in front of you. He doesn't need to be on top rank anymore after his third fight, and I think the sky's the limit with all the competition at 140. He can go over to the PBC and beat up on Alberto Puello, and then go over to whoever that gets that belt between Prograis and Zepeda, get them out the way. And then for the WBO, you beat up on Josh Taylor or beat up on whoever. But Devin's missing out at 140, man. He definitely needs to move up. But as far as the lightweight division, you've already conquered it. Let all the new, warriors come in to try to take their shot at getting the world championship. So that's pretty much what I have to say about Tito. I think he's going to become a world champion. The road's going to be extremely, extremely tough. 135 is no joke. There's a lot of big names on here, and I don't know how the division's going to go. There's going to be a lot of big names here. Don't be looking at the top 10s. Always be looking at the top 100s and the top 200s. But that's pretty much what I have to say, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Do what y'all gotta do. I don't, always beg for it, and I never do. But if you guys want to, that's up to you. That's your voluntary decision. And yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon. Peace out. Salute to the mighty LDBC and the TWT, and I am out. Bye.